The courtroom was quiet until the door creaked open. An elderly man in a worn-out military jacket walked in slowly, his cane tapping against the marble floor. His medals, faded and scratched, still gleamed faintly under the warm courtroom light. Judge Frank Caprio, seated calmly in his black robe, adjusted his glasses as he noticed the man's trembling hands. The clerk whispered, "Your Honor, he's a veteran." But what shocked everyone wasn't his uniform. It was what he said next. "I wasn't speeding, Your Honor. I was just trying to get to my wife's grave before sunset." In that moment, the courtroom froze. Even Judge Caprio's steady voice faltered, because behind that quiet statement was a lifetime of love, loss, and sacrifice. As the man spoke, his voice shook with every word. He explained that he had served for over 40 years, through storms, wars, and countless nights away from home. When he finally retired, all he wanted was peace with the woman he loved. But peace had left him long before he was ready. "She passed away 2 years ago, Judge," he said softly. "Every Sunday, I visit her. But that evening, I lost track of time." He went on, recalling how his old car's brakes had failed slightly downhill. A minor traffic violation caught on camera. For the city, it was just a fine. For him, it was the moment he felt the system no longer saw the man behind the uniform. The courtroom remained still. The hum of the ceiling fan, the ticking of a wall clock, and the gentle rasp of the man's breathing filled the silence. Judge Caprio leaned forward, his face, usually firm, now softened with empathy. "You've given this country more than enough, sir," he said gently. "You shouldn't have to explain why you love someone." The veteran tried to smile, but tears slipped down his wrinkled cheeks. Even the audience, usually impatient and distracted, sat with bowed heads, feeling his pain. Judge Caprio paused for a moment. He looked down at the citation, just a number on paper. Then he looked up again, at a man who had given his best years for others. "You know," Judge Caprio began, his voice trembling slightly, "my own father was a veteran. I know the kind of sacrifice that uniform carries." The old man lifted his eyes, weary but filled with pride. Judge Caprio took a deep breath. "This courtroom is a place of law, but it must also be a place of understanding." He leaned back in his chair, folded the paper slowly, and said the words that no one expected. "This case is dismissed. And, on behalf of everyone here, thank you for your service." The veteran tried to speak, but his lips quivered. He pressed his hand to his heart, whispering a simple, "Thank you, sir." Tears filled Judge Caprio's eyes, a rare moment of visible emotion. The courtroom, usually loud with chatter, fell into absolute silence. As the old man turned to leave, he stopped by the courtroom door. He turned back, smiled faintly through tears, and said, "You reminded me that humanity still lives within the law." Judge Caprio nodded, his eyes glistening. The audience stood quietly as the veteran walked out, not as a defendant, but as a hero finally recognized. A soft piano melody plays under the narration. Sometimes justice isn't about punishment, it's about remembering compassion. If this moment touched your heart, subscribe for more stories that remind us of the power of empathy, humanity, and hope.